Hello there, my name's Chris and I'm a registered nurse. 3 years ago, I sustained an injury at my workplace and at the same time my job was terminated. Since then, I've been fighting with various agencies such as the 4 private companies which deal with work care claims. Unfortunately, my claim fits into the 20% of complex claims, as it's known. This can actually be quantified if you were to look up Deborah Glass, the Victorian Ombudsman, and search for the work care report. There you will find the Deborah Glass's 174-page report, which clearly documents the 20% automatic denial. So, of course, my previous video blog was to sort of illustrate the introduction of where I wanted to go, but the resounding results of people who have subscribed are sort of wanting to know firstly what happened. Unfortunately, due again to legal constraints, I cannot, of course, name names. I can't name my employer, nor go into any of the personal details that might illustrate what happened at the time. But I can be more generic and be able to sort of explain the situation, and also it then will illustrate why I was injured at the time. So in a nutshell, what happened was I was advocating for a dying lady. The lady had been given approximately, more than likely, 3 or 4 days to continue her life before she was to pass over. I was working in palliative care at the time, and it is quite normal and acceptable to be looking at people's end of life, to be nursing them through this end stage, as it's known, and to facilitate a perfect or the best near perfect crossover or passover from life into death. All of which I've just said there are excellent skills to possess. Those skills do conjure up emotions. Those skills still, even though I am just saying that I'm a very good nurse, and I was very good at my job, nevertheless you can get quite upset. It's, death is a very final part of life. It's the end stage of life. You'd like to think that a lot of the business around your life has been arranged and sorted well before this time of end stage. So there is a huge amount of demand on the palliative care nurse to ensure that this person have a good death. You can also Google this. A good death is a common term that is used in palliative care. Part of my studies before this date of when I was injured, I studied also palliative care, which was a wonderful opportunity again to just brush up on skills and to hone some of the other skills. I guess, admittedly, I am a bit of a perfectionist, and the opportunity for me to provide the best nursing care, the best end of life, the best good death, the happier I am. Anyway, getting back to the story. So what happened is I was nursing this lovely lady. She had 3 or 4 days to live. She had a syringe driver commenced, which is a form of pain relief and pain relief only. And I like to make that quite clear because of the legal ramifications around syringe drivers. But mentioning the syringe driver really illustrates the position or the situation that this lady was in. So as a nurse, I took on the care and responsibility of this lady whilst I was there doing my shift. The lady had commenced a syringe driver. It means that the doctor was in accord with the hospital's in accord with the doctor, and both the hospital and the doctor are in accord with the patient and also the family. So in other words, they were all quite happy and well aware of the current situation. The situation was this lady was going to die in approximately 3-4 days. So upon all of that responsibility, upon taking on that responsibility as part of my shift, I was directed to do something which was totally inappropriate. And unfortunately, I can't detail anymore because it's legally wise, I would be in breach of a certain document that I have signed called a release, which we may get into further down the track. But nevertheless, basically, in a nutshell, it was a necessary situation for me to advocate for that dying lady. That dying lady was, by this stage, non-verbal. She could not express her own needs or desires. And it is extremely important that nurses dig down and look at their skills and to look at the legal ramifications and to exercise advocation rights for that patient, which I did. Now, unfortunately, in exercising those rights, in advocating for my dying lady, I was terminated as an employment. The situation is that I was given a directive by my supervisor. It was totally inappropriate. And unfortunately, the workplace did not support me. They instead chose to support the supervisor, which is in their own way a gross breach of legislation. With the employer supporting my supervisor and not me, I was immediately terminated in employment, which we'll go on to in detail later on. But nevertheless, I think you can already see the damage that I sustained because of this. And it's part of my work care claim. It is part of the reason why I'm not working anymore and that I have a permanent mental injury. The evidence is very clear, and unfortunately though, work cover will not pay out, and we'll get into that further. So I shall close now, again hoping I'm not too boring. No one said that so far, so I'm guessing I'm not too bad. But that's it in a nutshell. Please put down your questions again in your subscriptions and let me know what you think, and I will then run with the next video. Thanks, bye.